What is up, friends? So today, day 15 in our Zentangle series, and we're in a new chapter, chapter 3 of our book. We're focusing on geometric and organic shapes here, and today I have some really cool nature type ones to show you guys, as well as another variation on the grid. Let's just get into today. As always, you're going to need a pencil. You're going to need a black pen, and you may even need a marker, but primarily the pen and the pencil. All right. Before we get started today, a couple of small things to say. First off, thank you guys for sticking with this very complex braid from day 14. Excellent job. I know it was kind of a difficult one, even for me, and I'm sure you could tell. All right. So to get started, you want to make sure that you start by placing your 4 dots on your journal page here, and you're going to go ahead and do your outline here. All right. And again, this can look any way you would like it, but kind of imagine this string, if you will, is kind of laying at, and you can always change a little later. So let's get started there, and then kind of create this secondary string kind of moving through. This is going to give us plenty of spaces to use patterns and to come up and show our creativity. We've done this for lots of days now, so a lot of you guys have tons and tons of patterns that you can look at, that you can work with, and I'm always excited to see how they come together. Okay, so let's set this aside and move over to the first pattern of today, and it is Yincut. Now we have had a slew of these grid type patterns. We had one even on day 13 as recent, and some of these have gone back. I think day 12 was all grid patterns, so these shouldn't be too complex, and this is just a variation again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by kind of drawing out that grid space in my card, and you can be creative with your grid if you would like to. I got this kind of series of parallels here. I'll do some kind of curved ones this way. I'm creating this checkerboard type pattern here, okay? All right. Now, the way this one works is we have a series of parallel lines going vertically, and then in the opposites of our checkerboard, they're going horizontally, okay? I like to do this kind of like this image shows, by doing a lot of the verticals first, and you can have some options here. We talked about tangulations a while ago. I could take my pen and do a very tight vertical kind of line, almost like hatching if I'd like. And the way this pattern works, it's every other square gets the same pattern. That's kind of why I like to do all of one first. So this is like a super quick kind of hatching shape here. And I'm doing these nice and tight together, but they could be a lot further apart. My example has 3 or 4 lines across. Oh no, see, I just messed up. It happens. It happens, friends. And if it happens, you gotta find a way to make it work. Gotta hand myself a little bit there. Alright. And if this happened on my card, which it has, what I'll try to do is I'll try to work another pattern into this area. I may go back to one like a festoon or anything like that. I'll just kind of let it pull in. So it's not a super big deal. All right. Now, once you have your verticals in kind of this nice of gridded pattern, you're going to come in and drop your horizontals. And as an example, I did these verticals, very tight hatching lines. I'm going to come back in and do horizontals with a larger mark, just to show you a difference. These two things have a very different feel, and you definitely could do your horizontals kind of nice, tight cross or hatching again as well. So again, just to show you the variations, I'm going to do this way this time. And you might like one of these more than the other, and that's okay. You know what? I'm going to try to just hide this, pretend like it never happened. Just a happy little tree sitting in the woods, not bothering anybody. I think my marker is trying to die on me, friends. But here we go. Nice Yincut pattern. This kind of woven horizontal and vertical. I really enjoyed this one a lot, even with a little goof. Sorry about that. All right, let's move on to the next. Oh yeah, sorry. Once you've kind of seen this done, you can go into your journal, of course, pick an area, create that pattern, and then watch the next little demo here. All right, Locar. Okay, so this one is deceptive. It's not super difficult though. I kind of enjoy it. The way this is gonna start is we're gonna start, and I gotta throw this all the way back. Let me grab this card all the way back to day 2 with the poke root for Locar here. When we started number 2, we started with this kind of like rectangular kind of stalk here, and we're gonna do that today too. So I'm just gonna draw this noodle, or this extrusion, if you will. And the way this works is we're gonna do a series of lines that kind of crisscross each other. So the line's gonna come up, it's gonna extrude out, come back on itself, move behind the first one, and back down again. And this has a pretty cool look. And once you do this like once, you'll probably get it. So I imagine this is like a bush or a tree or some kind of plant. All right, so there's an extrusion. Come back down on myself, loop back, go underneath again, come forward, go up, second extrusion up, go back down, second behind, loop again, down, up, loop behind. Kind of see what this looks like. Hopefully you're kind of getting the pattern there. All right, not super complicated. It's just these little like extrusion going up, back down, behind itself, move on, move on, move on. Now once you have one side, you just do the same thing on the other side. And you can match this if you'd like to. You could offset this. Try to offset this one a little bit. Right, so it's not like perfectly in line. You could do that. You could also get like real crazy with this. If you wanted this to be like super wiggly, who's to say you can't be super wiggly? Right? So it's really up to you. However you would like to draw them. I got 3 on my first side. I might get 5 on this side. Who knows? I'll stick with 4. Right, and then I'm just going to end it kind of at a point, at a little stalk there. Once I'm done, I'm going to go back and erase. Right, and that is Locar. It looks way simple. It looks kind of complex, but it's a way simple pattern, and it's great. It looks it looks alive. It looks like it's a plant. And of course, you could do a whole bunch of these. Maybe these are stalks of plants. Maybe you give this an aura and it's in a special place. Maybe you add poke roots to it. It's been a while since we talked about tangulations, but maybe there's something else attached to this. So this is Locar. Pretty cool pattern. If you need to stop that and to go back again, I'll show you one more time the technique. It goes up, back to the stalk, loop, behind, back to the stalk. All right. So not a super complex pattern, and you could flip it if you wanted to. That's up to you. All right, that's Locar. So find a spot. Hopefully you can make this look awesome. I'm sure you all can. All right, and this is top dog for the day. Verdigogh, kind of like Verdigogh. And this one also has its roots in the poke root. So we're like kind of referring back to some much older cards way back to day 3 there. So again, we're going to start with this kind of noodle extrusion shape. I always do this first one in a pencil because I don't want it to like be here when it's done. But you know what? Actually, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just cover it with a marker. Getting brave is what's happening. All right. So similar to the one we just did, similar to the Locar, this one starts as kind of this stem, this branch, and we have lots of little things that come off. And we're just gonna kind of add more extrusions to our extrusion. You can be a little more curved with them. You can be super straight with them. It's kind of up to you. We're going to try to build even-ish on this. So if we add a little bit to one side, we may add a little bit to the other side. And this, just like the last one, it just has some layering. So I started with the stalk. I went in, I kind of added these little extensions, right? Now I'm going to come in and add a second set of extensions. So some of these are going to kind of go back behind like this. Sometimes, it might not be so straight. It might be a little more curved kind of behind. Sometimes you might have ones coming from almost the same area when you do this. Maybe it doesn't touch anything. You just kind of get to add another little section there. And maybe sometimes they've been rustled a bit, so they go way back, kind of a nod to the Locar there as well. The eventual goal is to really kind of fill this stalk up with these almost like pine needles. That's kind of like the best example I could think. And I'm even going to make them get a little smaller as they get closer to the top. Right? And then I'm just going to keep going. If you look kind of like this look, it's kind of like barren a little bit. It almost looks like a little flower. Could be right there. But I definitely want to add some more me personally. Right, so I'm just going to look for areas that need it. And, it's going to be further behind, and that's okay. Definitely overlapping to get that look of, this is in nature. This is some kind of plant. When I looked at the book, I was like, oh, today's going to be a tough day. And I sat down and drew these, and I was like, I love today's patterns. Okay, just snuck a little one in there. Yeah, so what do you think? Pretty cool, right? Some of these seem like they can stand on themselves. Definitely. These kind of naturey ones. But you might have another one, back here somewhere. Maybe these are like, limbs on a tree or something. So those are today's patterns. I hope you enjoy this. You can come in here and shade on these, definitely, if you'd like. Maybe on the edges of your Yincut, you've got some nice values coming in. But yeah, it's your card, it's your design. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Super excited about these patterns. And I'll catch you next time. Y'all be good.